Thank you for your time. Where are you from?
Hi, I'm from America, from Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Yes.
Nice. So are you visiting Japan or living in Japan?
So I live in Japan. I've been here for 3.5 years now.
Wow.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, very long time.
Yeah, it's been good so far. I moved here during coronavirus though. So when I moved here, like nothing was open. So it was like a very different feeling than it is now.
Then was it the first time to come to Japan? Like 3
I had
years ago?
been 2 times before.
2 times.
Yes.
So first time, what was the purpose of coming to Japan?
Okay, my then boyfriend that I met at 大学 in America moved back here. So he's 日本人ハーフだから日本に来ました。はいはい。
You speak Japanese too?
少しだけ日本語を、頑張っています。
アメリカで勉強したんですか？
アメリカで何も勉強してないです。日本に引っ越して以来、日本語を勉強始めました。はい。日本に来た時、全然漢字、ひらがな読めなかった。もう今、大体読めるようになりました。
今はかなり普通に日本語で会話したりしてるんですか？
はい、大体。私は毎日ジムに通っているから、ジムで、はい、筋トレをやってるから、ジムでみんな日本語を話せますから、いつも日本語で。
すごいですね。You achieved like speaking very good Japanese. So what was the motivation for studying Japanese?
Honestly, like being here, there's a certain level of connection I wanted with people and I wanted to make friends because if I was going to be here for a long time, I wanted to feel like kind of integrate myself into like the culture and so I wanted to be able to learn and make my everyday life easier and honestly my husband's family they speak in a lot of Japanese at home and I wanted to know what they were saying so that was like a big motivation to know what everyone's saying at the house so yeah.
But anyway, like not everyone do that way. Even though they have motivation, they stop.
Right.
So.
I know some people, like when I've met people here that don't speak Japanese at all and they've lived here for like 5 years and they only speak English. And I guess you can get by that, but I don't know. It's made my time here a lot more fulfilling, especially since getting better at Japanese. I've made more friends and like my conversations are more meaningful. And it's just like made my life better.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. Understanding the language.
Yeah.
You can get deeper into the culture.
Yes, and it's fun for them to like teach me new things and me teach them new things. So I really appreciated it. Yeah.
So far we talked only about Japanese language.
Yes.
So I want to ask about the life in Japan.
Okay.
Probably there were a lot of cultural difference when you came to Japan.
Yes.
So what kind of impression did you have in Japan first and what kind of culture shock did you have in Japan?
I think my first impression when coming to Japan is wow, the Japanese people are so polite, so quiet. Everyone's so quiet, clean, like they really take care of everything and they're respectful. It's a little bit of a culture shock where there's like no public trash cans or like being on the train and people kind of being quiet, keeping to themselves. And like being polite enough to not eat or drink on the train. Like in America, like there's not really, we're kind of a rowdy bunch. We like to talk. We like to, converse with people. And so it's very interesting to be in a public place and feel like, oh, people are like keeping to themselves and they keep their voices low and they try to like be respectful of each other. There's just, also the elevators, like the escalators. When I first got here, everyone's like, lining up on the same side of the escalator going up. And you keep like the one step in between you. That was shocking to me. In America, we're just going on, like we have no like rhyme or reason for anything. So that was really like, oh, I need to do it this way. Everyone else is doing it this way. I need to like fall in line and do that. That was one of the biggest things to me is the escalators, honestly, yes. And food serving size. In America, we like a big amount of food, a big portion. And normally so much so that there's like extra food to take home with you. And in Japan, like it's like the perfect amount to eat and you're not overeating. So that was very interesting because you leave a meal and you don't feel like horrible about yourself. Where in America, you could easily like eat way more than you should because they give you so much food. So that was definitely interesting as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like the size of hamburger is very small in Japan?
Yes, like okay, when you go to like Shake Shack here, a lot of people like in America, they don't have like the sizes are even different here because like for the Japanese consumer, they're not ordering the same amount that the American consumer is. And so it's always so surprising to me to go to Shake Shack and people are getting like the small fries and the like extra small shake and I'm like, "Oh no, like I'm getting the regular because I'm American, so that's what we do, I guess." Yeah.
So like although like in the same brand,
Yes.
like the size is different. in
Yes,
Japan.
yeah. Because I went to a Shake Shack in America recently and I realized like there's not like the small size. But in Japan, they have a small size just for like the Japanese people are like, we don't need this much food, which is, you don't need that much food. You guys are right. It's just very interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you came back to America, you got kind of counterculture shock.
Yes, like now, if I order like a coffee in America, like I'll get like a small latte or like a medium size. Because in Japan, I'd probably order like, you know, the larger size. But when I go to America and order that, I get like something this big. And I'm always like, oh my, you guys, it's too much. It's too much drink. So, yeah.
Other counterculture shock did you get in America?
The bathrooms. The toilets in America are like not great compared to Japan. Like you just get used to having really clean bathrooms here and like super accessible. And in America, most of the time, like the public bathrooms are not that great. And there's always like a crack in the door where you can see out and they can see in. Yeah, why do we have that? I don't know. So it's every time I go to the bathroom in America, I'm like, oh my gosh, like get me back to Japan. Yeah.
Okay, you already got used to Japanese bathroom.
Yes. Oh yeah. Like I love the Japanese bathroom now. So it's hard to go back to America and be like, oh, the toilet seat is not heated. I don't like that. Yeah.
So from now, I want to ask about the highlight
Okay.
in Japan.
Okay.
So you spent more than 3 years and you experienced trip to Japan too, 2 times.
Yes. Yeah.
So like among all the experience in Japan,
Mm-hmm.
could you share a few of the highlights, your highlights?
Well, there's so many. There's so many like fun, amazing things to go see and do here. I want to say going to Kyoto, which is like so like I know like touristy thing to do, but it's amazing. You have to go at some point and see it. And just seeing all the old temples and shrines was really amazing, and it feels a little more like old time Japan. So you feel like you're kind of getting in that like history as well, whereas Tokyo feels more just like a big city a lot of times. Also, I would say Fukuoka. I love Fukuoka. Like the people there, bijin ga imasu. Yeah, like in Fukuoka, they say like there's a lot of bijin there.
Yeah, it's said there, but did you feel that way?
Yeah, I felt like there was a lot of beautiful people and like I don't know, something about the energy of the city. I really, really liked it. And they had the yatai. So like it's just like a fun place to go. So I actually think like Fukuoka is my favorite Japanese city besides Tokyo. I like Tokyo a lot.
You like Tokyo?
Yeah, I do like Tokyo a lot. But Fukuoka, like I would move there if I had the opportunity. I would move to Fukuoka.
Where do you like the most?
Fukuoka. Yeah, the food is so good there. The people are just like super nice. I don't know, just something about the energy like of the city is just like, oh, I could be in Fukuoka for a long time and be happy, I think.
I see.
Yeah.
Did you interact with people there?
Yes, I went last year. Oh, I guess now 2 years ago for sumo.
Small.
Yeah, me and my husband and our friend Daiki went to Fukuoka and we went to sumo and like I met other surrounding people there and like at yatai, and it was just like really fun, and all the people have like a really good personality and like they felt outgoing, so I really I enjoyed the people as well.
Okay, like did you feel the difference between like Fukuoka people and Tokyo people?
Well, Tokyo people, ごめんなさい。ちょっと冷たいです。Like, and I think it's just because it's such a big city as well. There's like, you kind of have to be, because I've had situations where I've tried to like help people in Tokyo before, like on the train or something, and it always goes badly. And so I also now just kind of keep to myself. So I've kind of like learned just like be a certain way. And I think everyone's just kind of like that here. But I mean, I have a a good amount of friends here now, and they're like super nice, super kind. It's just like at the first, everyone seems a little bit cold. Yeah.
Like in like public.
Yes.
There is the way of living.
Yes. Yeah. You like
Tokyo.
do these certain things
Yeah.
and don't mess with it. So I've learned that, and it doesn't really bother me anymore. But sometimes when I go back to America, I just feel like the warmth of the American people, and I'm like, oh, I missed this. But to be fair, in America, I'm from like the South.
South.
And like most people in the South are known for being like a warmer, more like happy people. If you go to like New York City, people are tsumetai. So like it's kind of the same. I think it's just a city person thing, not necessarily a Tokyo thing. Yeah.
You're from the big city or not so much?
I'm from a smaller town, like the Jinko, it was like 50,000, 60,000. So it's like the same as like being in Ibaraki-ken no yona kanji. Yeah.
So you've obviously been to rural area
Yes.
in Japan, right?
Yes, yeah.
What was the impression in rural area?
Okay, I like Ibaraki-ken a lot. Like when I go, the people are so nice. Like everything is good. It's just because I'm living in a metropolitan area and there is more like gaikokujin around, people aren't like really staring at me here. Like people kind of don't like mind, that I'm a foreigner. But if I go to like the rural, like if I go to the inaka, like people like stare at me and they're definitely more curious, like why is she here, So I definitely like get that feeling. So it's very interesting. In Tokyo, I feel like invisible almost, which is good for me. And when I go there, I feel like, oh my gosh, I better do my hair and makeup and like look cute because they're looking at me. Okay. So that's kind of how I feel when I go there. But I like it a lot. We have like, my husband has family friends that still live there, so I like to go visit with them, and everyone's like super nice and super like welcoming and hospitable. So
you're like the boss, like rural area in the city in Japan.
Yeah. I mean, the rural area, definitely, I feel like you can kind of get more of a taste for what Japan actually is like, rather than being in just a big city, because every big city has something special about it, but a lot of big cities kind of all are similar. And so when you go out into a rural area, you can kind of actually get the soul of the country that you're living in. Yeah.
So last a few questions, but so I want to ask about food. In Japan, what kind of Japanese food did you like?
Okay. I'm so American. I love fried food. So I love it, like tonkatsu. I love karage. I love like Hakata ramen, which is also probably why I love Fukuoka, because the ramen is so good. Gyoza, yakiniku, yakisoba. I eat fish, but it's not like my favorite, because where I grew up, there's not like fresh fish to eat, so you don't eat that growing up, so it's not really like a homey taste to me. So I'll eat it when other people eat it, but otherwise I don't normally choose that myself to eat. So like I'll eat sushi and it's good, but I'd rather eat like other washoku dishes.
But it's not like you don't like raw fish or something like that.
No, like I can handle it. When I eat it, it's fine. It's just if I'm choosing where we're going to eat, I'm not gonna choose that. I'd probably choose like soba. Yeah.
What are some like food you didn't like so much, like weird?
Natto. Oh my god. I can't with it. It's so, my husband loves it. He likes to do the like raw egg and the natto over rice. No, I'm so sorry. I can't. I've tried it. It was not for me. It was really not for me.
Okay, so you rather go for like fried food?
More like fried food or like noodles. I mean, there's a lot of Japanese food I do like. I'm just like thinking off the top of my mind. Like my favorites would be gyudon. Oh my god, love. It's so good. Nabe. Like I like a lot of Japanese food. It's just not the healthiest. The Japanese food I like is probably not the healthiest Japanese food. Yeah.
So we talked about food, about Japanese food. So could you recommend a few of your food
Oh, like American?
Food.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay, I'm from the South. So the South is known for like, well, KFC, Kentucky, you know, fried chicken. So we have really delicious fried chicken. I would recommend mac and cheese, recommend. It's delicious, like noodles with tons of cheese. Biscuits and gravy.
Biscuits and gravy.
Yes. In the South, it's like a normal breakfast. So it's like a biscuit. It's like bread, a shoppai pan, and then you have a gravy sauce that you put on top of it, and it has sausage like broken up into it, and it's like a creamy sauce, and you put it on top of the bread and you eat it together. It's so delicious. I make that for Japanese people and they love it. Like it's so good, but it's so bad for you. It健康に良くないです. Yeah, it's unhealthy. Yeah, but good for your heart.
Yeah.
Good for the kokoro.
Kokoro.
Yeah. 心にいいです. Yeah.
So lastly, experiencing 3 years in Japan, what kind of thing did you want to apply to yourself from like Japanese culture?
Probably to be more polite and respectful of others. Like, not that I wasn't before, but I think the American mindset's a little more like all about me, like ちょっとわがまま. だから I wanted to be a little more like cognizant of people around me, try to be just more respectful of other people, because in America we talk really loud and we kind of do things our own way. But when you come to a different country, I think it's good to learn that country's cultures and values and try to, you know, adhere to it as much as you can. So, I mean, that is really what I wanted to get out of it the most and apply to myself was like the respect aspect of the Japanese people. Yeah.
Do you want to continue to live in Japan?
So that's such a hard question because I love America so much. When I go home, my heart feels so full and I feel like, oh my gosh, I've missed this like warmth. But then when I'm also home for a long period of time, I also miss a lot of things about Japan that I'm like, oh, I really need to get back to Tokyo because I'm missing all these other things about it. So I do plan on being in Japan for a long time because my husband works here and like his job is good here. So I don't think we'll be moving. Actually, we bought an apartment recently. So yeah, so I am like in it for the long haul because now I own a property in Tokyo. So I'm not going to be leaving anytime soon. Yeah.
So like you are going to live in Japan for life?
For the foreseeable future. Like we plan on like starting a family here. Also, Japan is probably a better place to raise children than the United States. Because if my husband, if we go back to America, he'd be working in New York City. And the quality of life in New York compared to the quality of life in Tokyo is very different. And so we kind of decided that Tokyo is a better place to stay for raising kids, for having a family. And then maybe eventually, you know, 20 years down the road, maybe we'll move back to the States. But right now it's not in the plan. I go home kind of often to see people, but otherwise, like I'm good living here.
So as for interview, that's all. It was very nice to hear a lot of good insights from you and a good talk from you. So it was very nice to talk with you. Thank you so much.
It was nice to meet you guys. Thank you. またね。
ご視聴ありがとうございました。いかがだったでしょうか？動画のご感想やテーマのご要望などコメント欄で教えていただけますと幸いです。たくさんのコメントお待ちしております。チャンネル登録の際は通知ボタンもお忘れなく。